crafters, welcome back and thanks for joining me. This is Jonna with Purple Girl Crafts. Today we are going to be making this slimline card. This card you can see when you move back and forth, the letters kind of wiggle and stay together. I added the hands just to make it more scary, and on the inside I did a beware. All of this was just printed on a computer. You can use Word or however you want to do your letters. It requires no die cuts. So let's just go ahead and get started. I grabbed my square board. And for our base piece, and this is just black cardstock, this is going to be cut at 8.5 by 6.5. On the 6.5 inch side, we are going to score this at 3.25. And then you can just fold that in half and just crease out that line. All right, so that's the piece that we will have. Then we need 3 pieces, and I did the spider paper. And these are 3 by 8.25. And then I did just one additional piece, and this is just of a lighter orange color for the inside. And that's the same measurements. All right, so we're done with our scoreboard. And we're going to work on the letters. Now, I cut out the middle part, and I didn't like it, so I just put some black on the back of them. You're not going to see them, but I didn't like the way it looked. And I didn't want the paper to show through because there's actually going to be a string through there. So I'm just going to put glue on these, and I'm just putting a piece of black paper just over that, just to cover up that entire hole. Now, it did have white on it, but I didn't like the white on it either, so that's why I decided to do the black. And get any letters that you want to use would be great for this. All right, so when that's dry, I'm going to use a piece of string. I'm just using some twine that I got from the craft store. You can use just regular thread, or you can use fishing line, whatever works best for you. So on here, what we're going to do is we're going to put the layers down on the top of the card. And I'm just using my quick dry glue, but you can use tape on this also if you'd like. So we're going to lay this top piece down. Just making sure I've got that even border all the way around. And then I'm just going to put these letters just on here. I want them to touch, so they're just barely make it, so they're about the same size as the card. So they fill up the card fully. And then this piece of string is just going to go in the back, and it's just going to hold that on there. And then you're just going to put it through all 3 pieces. Again, I just want to make sure this is going to fit on there before I start doing any of my stuff. And I'm going to tape my letters together just so that I've got them the way I want them arranged on the card. And so they're just barely touching top and bottom. And this will hold them in place because I want to flip them over in a second. All right, so when we flip this over, as you can see, I'm going to move the other piece, the card, out of the way for right now. Right, so the string is just going to go top to bottom. You want to leave a little bit at the top and the bottom so that you can put it through the card, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm just going to tape these down. I'm going to start with tape, but you can also glue it down. So I'm going to use my Fairly Art glue. I'm just going to put a line of glue all the way down. And then we'll fasten that one piece. And then we'll put glue on the other 2. And just go ahead and secure that down. And I'm just taking a piece of paper on the top of it just so I can kind of push it and not get glue all over me. Then I'm just going to grab some tape. Now this is just a wall-safe tape, but it does hold very well on your cards. And it's just to make sure that it doesn't come out. And I think I'll put a piece. I like tape, so we're just going to put another one right on the top piece too. All right, so that's for the letters on the card. And then what we're going to do is on the front of the card, where this is going to lay, we're going to poke a hole in that top layer of the card. And I'm not going to measure this. I'm just going to do it just right about in the center and probably about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch down, not very far. So you can see when I put these on, because I want to poke the string through it. So I want to have just a little bit of room to poke. And then we're going to put the string through the hole. It's easier just to lay it and then just kind of push through all the pieces, and then it'll go right through. And then just pull that through. And then that one can be tight on the top. And then we'll do the bottom the same thing. Now I'm going to take these top pieces off. This is the tape because I don't need them on there anymore because the back is secured with a string. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put another hole at the bottom of the card. Again, I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to do it just about 1/4 inch in and right about in the center. You could use a hole punch on this too if you wanted. And then I'm just going to push that through. I'm kind of doing it at the side angle so it'll grab all the threads at the same time when I push it through. And then once you have it, just go ahead and pull it. And making sure those letters are straight. And there you go, just like that. Okay, now I'm just going to make sure these are lined up how I want them. And when the string is on the inside, we're going to glue this down, or you can tape it down either way. Again, I'm just making sure these are lined up as I want them. And then I'm secure the string. Again, you can use tape or you can use the glue. I'm going to use tape because we are going to put that bright color of orange paper over the top of this. So you're not going to see the tape on there. And then this piece will go over the top just like this. And then you can see how freely that moves. All right, so we're going to secure this piece down. I'm just going to use that my quick dry glue again. And then just pop that down and make sure you've got that even border all the way around. Perfect. All right, now for the inside, we're going to put that other piece. And that is the other cobweb paper. And I'll put where I got that from in the comment section of the video, or the description box. Right, so once we have that glued down, and that's what the card looks like for the front. And I like the way the movement of the letters are. Then I drew a couple of hands. So I did 2 of each, left and right. And I want to make sure, so I'm just going to put this card in a legal envelope. I want to make sure that they're not sticking out and they fit inside the envelopes. That's why this card is not as wide, because I wanted them to stick out just a little bit. But I also want to make sure that it fits in the card. So just like that. So then we'll glue the hands down. And I'm just going to put glue just on the top side of it. And then just secure it to that first O. What's really fun is because the O is going to move, these hands are going to look like they're moving too. See, so they'll kind of move around and kind of change position too. So it's really fun. And then we'll put the other one on the bottom O. And you could use, again, you could use tape on here if you wanted, or sticky dots, whatever you wanted. Just want to make sure you don't get too much tape so it doesn't stick to the other side and it sticks to the card. Right, so that's for the inside. Or I'm sorry, for the top of the card. Right, so that part's done. Now on the inside, and I'm just going to lay this flat so I can work on the inside of the card. I'm going to grab just some scrap, and I just cut some orange. And these are 1/2 inch by 2.5. And then I scored them at every 1/2 inch. So just score them. So you've got, mine were just a little bit too long. So I cut off just that, or tore off that last piece. But you want to make just that little cube. And then you want to glue just one end of it. Fold in the last one. And then once that's glued, we'll go ahead and we'll glue that down. Or once the glue is dry. And then do the other one. So just fold it in and then just fold it closed on itself. And then once they're dry, you can go ahead and just fold them out, crease out the folds, and just keep turning it and creasing out your folds. Then we're going to put these on the card, and the hands are going to sit on the card. Now, because these hands are going to be showing, I'm going to cut off just that little bit, so I only have the green. We'll do that to both of them. And on here, you can put them as far apart as you want or as close as you want. So I'm just creasing out this last one. And you just kind of want to see where you want them to go. And then the beware sign I realized was too big. So as I'm laying this out, as you can see, it's just going to be too big because when the card closes, it's going to move that hand out. So that's the other thing is you want to make sure that your embellishment on the inside isn't too big that it sticks outside of the card when you close it. So we're going to glue this piece down first. And I just put glue on both sides or two sides of it and then just attach it to the top and the bottom of the card. And see, as the beware side, you can see it'll be sticking out. And then when this closes, let me just put that hand on there and show you. So if I put this on there, let's just glue this one down. I'll show you what I mean. All right, so I'm going to put this hand on this little lever. And it's gluing it right to that top piece. And then I'll put the other one up on top there. So let's just glue these and then we'll worry about the beware sign. I think it's going to be a little bit too big just by looking at the size of it. So make sure that's down. And then we're just going to glue that other hand onto it. Okay, so just like that. So once again, it's still moving, which is good. And then for the inside of the card, I have my hands. Again, the beware side is too big because it's going to stick out. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just tear it. So I'm going to tear it just between the E and the W. And then he's going to be holding the B and he'll be holding the where. Again, you have to position it, see, because that one's going to stick out. So you want to make sure you position this so that it won't stick outside the card. So something like that. All right, so I don't like the color of these, so I went ahead and stopped the camera for a second, and I put red on the bottom of them, and I did a light brown just with ink, just to make it so it doesn't stand out so white. And then I'm just going to glue the sign to his hands. That's sticking to my finger. So I'll put the beware or the B on the top. Again, making sure it doesn't stick out, and then I'll glue the where. So I'm just putting glue on his hand this time. I think I'm just going to stick it like this. Yep, that looks good. Right, and then from there, you could add some more. You can add some embellishments on the front. You just want to make sure that if you put any on there, they don't get in the way of the card when it's swinging back and forth. Thanks for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Until next time, happy crafting. Check out the new announcement on Facebook. Bye-bye.